Hey, you're watching This Brown Geek, and earlier today Apple announced the new MacBook Pros featuring the new M2 Pro and M2 Max SoCs. In this video, I'm going to give you a quick summary of everything they announced today regarding the new MacBook Pros. Wait a sec. My M1 Max MacBook Pro is no longer the best MacBook that Apple makes?
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Okay, so the new MacBook Pro 14-inch and 16-inch announced today have the same exact design as last gen. So they're in space gray and silver, just like these ones, and there's nothing to report on that front. So let's just go straight ahead and talk about the new processors, the M2 Pro and the M2 Max. Let's start with the M2 Pro. It's built using a second generation 5nm process with 40 billion transistors, which is nearly 20% more than the M1 Pro and double the amount of the M2. It also features 200 gigabytes a second of unified memory bandwidth, which is twice that of M2. And it can also support 32 gigabytes of fast unified memory. Translation, this CPU is an actual beast. But that's not all. The GPU in the M2 Pro can be configured with up to 19 cores. That's up from 16 cores last generation, and includes more L2 cache. And the result is graphics speeds that are up to 30% faster than M1 Pro. This means huge increases in image processing and console level performance for graphics, according to Apple, if you believe that. But wait, there's more. We've got the M2 Max to talk about, and that pushes the performance of Apple Silicon even further. It's built with 67 billion transistors, which is 10 billion more than the M1 Max, which is what I have.
Talk with you again.
And more than 3 times that of M2. It also has a 400 gigabyte per second bandwidth, which is twice that of M2 Pro, and 4 times that of M2. And it supports a massive 96 gigabytes of unified memory. That's insane. The M2 Max also features the same CPU as the M2 Pro. Now, let me quickly tell you about this processor. It's gone up to 12 cores now instead of 10 cores that we had last gen. You can get it in a 10 core variant, but with 12 cores, you get the same 8 high performance cores and you get 4 high efficiency cores instead of 2 high efficiency cores. Because both of these CPUs now have 4 high efficiency cores compared to last generation, both of these MacBook Pros have an extra hour of battery life. In fact, the 16-inch MacBook Pro now has the best battery ever for a MacBook Pro, clocking in at 22 hours. And the GPU is now even more powerful with up to 38 cores and even more L2 cache. This means that the M2 Max is 30% faster than the M1 Max in terms of graphics performance. And if that wasn't enough, both the M2 Pro and M2 Max feature the updated 16-core neural engine, which is 40% faster than last generation. The M2 Pro has an immensely powerful and efficient media engine, including hardware-accelerated H.264, HEVC, and ProRes video encode and decode, allowing playback of multiple streams of 4K and 8K ProRes video. And the M2 Max features 2 video encode engines and 2 ProRes engines, which doubles the performance of the M2 Pro, which is, like the M2 Pro by itself is nuts. The M2 Max it's just another level. Oh, and we can't forget about the HDMI port. Previous gen, the HDMI port was HDMI 2.0, so it allowed 4K at 60Hz, but the new M2 Pro and M2 Max MacBook Pros have, I think it's a HDMI 2.1 port. It supports 8K at 60Hz and 4K at 240Hz. On these MacBooks, the 2021 version, the older MacBooks, you'd have to use one of your Thunderbolt 4 ports to output in 6K at 60Hz, but now you can output at 8K 60Hz over HDMI on the new MacBook Pros. The new MacBook Pros also now have Wi-Fi 6E, which is something that I wish this MacBook Pro had, but I'll just wait till I upgrade. Plus you get 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, an SDXC card slot, just like this one, and a MagSafe 3 charging port. Oh, and a high impedance headphone jack, just like you do on these MacBook Pros. In short, the new M2 Pro and M2 Max processors are a game changer. Not only do they bring powerful performance, but also advanced features that support 8K displays and faster Wi-Fi connectivity. And with the new SoC and the performance of the M2 Pro and M2 Max, you get performance that's unrivaled with other brands on these new MacBook Pros and the Mac Mini. That's right, the M2 Pro is also coming to the Mac Mini. So if you don't need a MacBook Pro, you can buy the Mac Mini with the M2 Pro and it'll cost considerably less. And it'll be an absolute beast in terms of performance. But if you are on the market for a new laptop, you might want to give the new MacBook Pro 14-inch and 16-inch a look, especially if you need that level of performance. Me, I'm sticking sticking with my 2021 M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch. I paid over $3,000 for this thing, and I still haven't realized its true potential. Upgrading to the new M2 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch would be nice, but for me right now, I really don't think it's worth it. So I think I'll wait and see what they come out with in a year or two. These machines offer an incredible amount of performance, which is more than almost everyone needs these days. If you're a professional that actually needs this level of performance, then yeah, sure, go for it. Otherwise, I would say consider the Mac Mini or even a 2021 MacBook Pro, because the prices of those, even including the M1 Max version, will be falling rapidly now that these have been announced. The new MacBook Pro 14-inch starts at $19.99 in the US and $21.49 here in the UK. The new 16-inch MacBook Pro starts at $24.99 in the US, and that comes with an M2 Pro. If you want the M2 Max, it starts at $34.99 in the US. And in the UK, it's $26.99 for the 16-inch with the M2 Pro and $37.49 here in the UK for the 16-inch with the M2 Max. The Mac Mini starts at $12.99 in the US and $13.99 here in the UK, and that's with the M2 Pro. And that's about it from me. Please do hit like on this video if you found it informative and helpful. That will let YouTube know that this video is worth recommending to other people. And do consider subscribing if you haven't already. You've been watching This Brown Geek. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!